Hello, my name is Matt. Welcome to Burble 73. This now it's time to review Stranger Things Season 1, Episode 7, Chapter 7, The Bathtub. As I hoped and predicted, plot lines began to merge in this episode, or converge, whatever word you choose to you there. And I'm looking at you and you and you and you and you. Okay, Stranger Things does it perfectly in this episode, so perfectly that it should be people should watch it to know how to properly do that. Okay? At the opening, we pick up right where I thought. Jonathan's been arrested for his accidental assault on the police officer. Hopper and Joyce head over to the police station to see what's going on, and it leads to a nice bit of dialogue between Jonathan and Hopper, and eventually all four getting on the same page. Right at the end of that, there's a really nice scene, short, brief scene in there between Joyce and Jonathan. Okay? So I'm going to play it.
Sorry? You're sorry? That is not good enough, Jonathan.
I know.
It's not even close. It's not even in the ballpark.
I wanted to tell you,
What if this thing took you too? You risked your life. And Nancy's.
I thought I could save Will, and I still do.
This is not yours to fix alone. You act like you're all alone out there in the world, but you're not. You're not alone.
I know.
Damn it, Jonathan.
I know.
Damn it.
That obviously Winona Ryder is a top level actress and all. The kid does a great job. So turns out that it's true Jonathan wanted to protect his mother from more stress. That just fed into his own mental health problems, where he's kind of a loner, and it sort of intentionally and unintentionally both ways drove him there. And Joyce, playing the role of a mother exceptionally well in this show. Sometimes when mothers act like this in TV shows, it comes across as cringy or clingy, you know. But Winona Ryder does a perfect job playing Joyce here, and she drives home the point that he can't do this alone, and he's not alone. So she addresses the mistake he made, and the mental health issue in directly. And I'll say it again. This is an excellent scene. After some quick but to the point, conversation, the sequence that happens that Jonathan and Nancy tell Hopper and Joyce all the info. They talk back and forth and whatnot. And then right at the end of this conversation, you might have heard the yell. That was the mother of one of the bullies from the one who 11 broke his arm. Okay, and she's they're trying to file a police complaint against her. So that leads to Hopper getting annoyed. He runs out there to shut her up and get rid of her. And just as he's walking away, he hears her describing the 11, basically, who fits the description of the kid he's looking for from the Hawkins National Lab. And that gets him on the same, knowing that now the kids are another piece of the puzzle. Okay. So meanwhile, the D&D crew hear from Lucas and manage to escape from the government goon squad. And it's that's kind of a funny scene there. When the goon squad gets to the house and is searching and all, the father is like the classic '80s dumb father. I don't mean in the sense of diminishing him as a father. I mean like that he's not observing something he should. Like it's a bit of a comedy bit, but not played in a bad way, you know. So, and same thing happens to Nancy. She gets not Nancy, Karen. She gets fooled too, you know. But but the kids get together. They elude their pursuers. They wind up in the junkyard, and they basically patch it all up. I'm not going to put every great scene. I could literally just air the whole episode. Those all great scenes because it is. You'll get my score at the end. We got to hear one when you give it. But there's no bad scenes, no wasted space, nothing in this episode. Okay. Now this, of course, leads to one of the better uses of a 1980s trope you'll ever see in a TV show. Okay, so in the 1980s. The hero in any action scene or movie or whatever, he always has some sort of elite combat skill, even if they never explained it. Like there could be a team of Marines going after, say, going after a school and the janitor's the only one there to save the kids, and the janitor just wipes the floor with the Marines in a clear and convincing way. So you're indicating that guy has a combat background. It's like elite superpower level, right? That's an '80s trope. I remember one late '80s movie where two kids were being bullied, and the janitor saved them with like master. I think it was played by Billy Blanks, an actual world champion martial artist. And the janitor was like, a martial arts master and a retired Navy SEAL or something like that. I mean, it's just the trope is always there for the '80s, So anyway, so the kids were in trouble, and they hid out in this bus, and because the helicopter was going over looking for them, and then Hopper, they finally get Hopper and Joyce and Nancy and Jonathan get to the radio, and they're talking on the kids' walkie-talkie. They say, "Where are you? We'll help you," whatever. And the kids, another well-done scene. They aren't trusting of them because all the adults have been screwing with them, but they trust them at the end. And then we get back to the government guys, the government goon squad, hunting for the kids with guns in the thing. And just as they're about to find them, all of a sudden you see them drop. You see the first one drop, and then the rest go. You hear what happens in the background. They don't show it, but Hopper basically takes the entire team of government goon squad out. Okay, so the perfect use of an '80s trope. It's believable the way they did it because they set Hopper up as the top level guy, so to speak. But they're not going crazy saying he's like point is it's really well, you use the trope really well. Okay. So finally we all the characters who have been dealing with the monsters and Hawkins National Lab people, they're all in one team now, so to speak. So and they're getting back together at the police station, right? Now, as an aside, this is the first episode where Steve, the boyfriend or whatever you want to call him for Nancy, doesn't feel like a complete waste of screen time. He realized that the slut shaming he did to Nancy, which his so-called friends did, was wrong, and he wanted to help him to clean it up at the end. Now, so I'm not going to be deducting any Steve is in the show points in this one, and now see if the writers can do something with this character. I understand that he sticks around for another season or so. I don't know that for a fact. Okay, but let's see if they can make this character more appealing, I guess you would say. So, now the show's been very quickly paced already, right? But and it's excellently done as far as that goes. But once they all get the D&D kids, Hopper and Joyce, and then Nancy and Jonathan all get on the same page, it accelerates again. Okay, so the D&D crew, they give their information to the team, Hopper, with Mike, and Mike gives the same explanation with the upside down and the gnats or whatever they were saying. I don't remember the whole thing, and they explain how they use triangulating using the compasses and the powerful electromagnetic signal to find so far, right? So, make a long story short, they want to communicate with Will. They want to find him on the upside down. So, and now I think that they want to make a sensory deprivation tank, like 11 used in the lab, because that's Hopper saw it there, to help her do more. I think it's more than just sensory deprivation tank. I think if you look at the way Seven's body reacts to using our powers, it seems like it overheats a little bit. I think the water at a certain temperature helps her body deal with the increased metabolism, right? So then we hit our next, and this part we hit our next excellent 1980s trope use, okay? So we've seen Mr. Clark repeatedly, he's the science teacher, show up and then just drop knowledge bombs, like he's a high school science teacher, right? In real life, most high school science teachers I love you guys, but you're not you aren't don't have 17 PhDs, right? Okay, so but Mr. Clark, they call him up. He's on a hot date and whatever. Doesn't want to be disturbed, and it's a really funny scene where Dustin guilt trips him into helping him out. But he knows, he just, they're like, Mr. Clark, how to make a sensory deprivation tank? Oh, yeah, this is what you gotta do. I mean, he just knows. Like, why would he just know that and know how how to describe dimensional physics and whatever, and have that much knowledge of how building radios and stuff like. I mean, it's a 1980s trope with science teachers. Science teachers knew everything in the 80s. That's just the way it was, But it's very well done. And finally, they find Will, and it's freaking terrifying. 11 travels across the Black, and she finds Will hiding in a fort. It's a very Lovecraftian looking fort, which seems to be made of the same hideous substance everything else is made of over there. And after some communications, they're cut off. So we end on 2 cliffhangers, basically. Hopper and Joyce surrounded by the HNL Goon Squad as they're trying to get back into the lab, and a creature smashing Richard Will's fort. So there's a lot of great things to like about this episode. I could literally go minute by minute talking about tons and tons. Great camera angle, how the stuff in the room, in each room they're filming in. I mean, there's just so much. I've already mentioned it, like I said, the two 1980s tropes and all that, but there's some others that pop up in there that are used very well. So let's start. The first thing I want to highlight, which I didn't show the scenes, but they're worth watching. Joyce has 2 or 3 great scenes with 11. 11 is looking for a parent figure to trust. Okay, it's natural for kids to do that. Because the one she trusted, the creepy lab dad is what I've been calling him. She probably still both trust and distrust him, right? So when Winona Ryder channels that mother she's been playing in this whole show, and again, without seeming overly clingy, without seeming overacted or anything, she provides comfort and support to 11, who's doing this. And she acted so well that Joyce is doing it because she would do it even if Will wasn't involved. Okay, she's that type of person in this show. Okay? And Winona Ryder and Millie Bobby Brown, they both do great in those scenes. Okay, they acted their asses off, and that's probably a good part of why the show has succeeded for several years. Even in the no-name actors, they're getting quality actors. So another great element of this episode is the phenomenal direction. Timing, pacing, theme music, even the camera angles are all set up properly. The cuts, like a lot of times when you film this stuff, they'll film from 3 different angles, and the director team will watch them and say, okay, let's go 10 seconds here, then flip to this camera for 3 seconds, and however they do it. And that's done masterfully this episode. Okay. Again, there could be hours worth of discussion on this episode, and I think film students in future film schools will be breaking down this episode from the technical point of view. I also like the emotional beats in this episode. It felt like a penultimate episode. Characters are resolving their season 1 subplots and coming together. It all felt organic, and the actors really did well portraying not only what they did and said, but how they felt. As I rewatched season 1, I wonder why I never returned to Stranger Things. I mean, granted, I had a lot going on in my life at the time. It was distracting me, all the medical stuff, and I had that bit of a chip against Millie Bobby Brown because of Godzilla King of the Monsters. Regardless, this is my favorite episode of the series so far. It's the first one I rated a 10 out of 10. Comment down below if you have any questions for me about this episode or anything in general. Please share your thoughts. Share this video if you enjoyed it. Like if you like. Dislike if you dislike. Subscribe if you want to hear more from me. My name is Matt. This has been Unbearable 573. Have a nice day. I am out of here.